Good morning, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Welcome this Monday morning, 8 o'clock on the East Coast here. What a beautiful fall weekend. I'm telling you, a beautiful fall weekend. Nothing to stop anybody, and it showed because, wow, did the people keep coming in the Apple Festival. Saturday, Sunday, it was packed. Arts in the Park, Fall Arts in the Park in Blue Ridge. Just a beautiful weekend. Another great upcoming weekend. Paul's in the Park will be this coming Saturday in Blue Ridge. Bring your pooch up. Absolutely. Pooches are welcome. Paul's in the Park. Big pooch parade next weekend. Now, what I do is you go down to Sycamore Crossing, friends. Okay, right there, Sycamore Crossing. You get a Tupelo tea, and you watch the dog parade go by. But anyhow, Fall Arts in the Park, Blue Ridge, big success, beautiful weekend. Apple Festival, wow. I can't wait to see the numbers on that. It was great, Apple Festival. And Apple Arts downtown at the Square. What else? I don't know. All right, folks. Early voting starts today. Now, Josh, where are you at concerning the pictures? Are you done yet? Because I know I sent a lot, so it's not a big deal. I just want to know where you're at so I can call some things out. You're on 19. I'll tell you what I need. I'll tell you the numbers I need ASAP. Okay, and I'll give it to you here because I got a couple things to go over before I do. I need 37, 36, 35, and 34, okay? All right, well, let's go ahead and put up number 5 to start the day because I was upset that the media did not start out Monday morning with this. There was some talk over the weekend. That's Pastor Brunson kneeling in the Oval Office. Now, I'm going to get some other things started. You can contact the show 706-889-9700. Send me an email, chief@fetchernews.com. You can also follow us on Twitter @FetcherNews, @FYNTV. And so those are many ways you can please subscribe to our YouTube channel, FYNTV Fetcher News. And anytime we have a live broadcast, you will get a note, get an alert. Okay, there is Pastor Brunson. Now, you take a black man, Kanye West, in the Oval Office last week, just, having some fun. We'll leave it there, okay? And the media can't stop talking about it. I mean, we'll talk very little Kanye today. I will say this. Thank you, Kanye, for telling me Chirac. They do. They call it Chirac. We have a war within this country in Chicago, and they call it Chirac. But I don't know all the street lingo, okay? But Pastor Brunson comes home from Turkey, and he's in the Oval Office kneeling with the President of the United States. You remember the great pallet of money drop? You remember the pastor that was held, I forget his name, in Iran. Remember the pastor that was held in Iran that actually said they sat on the plane. Remember that? They sat on the plane and were held up until something arrived. Remember that? That pallet of cash, what was 500 million? Are we in the billions? I don't know, okay? But 500 and some million dollars or whatever, they were put on the plane and they were not allowed to leave till that pallet of cash that was funneled illegally through banks to avoid to Iran to get hostages, okay? Trump has not paid anything for any hostages. He secured the release of our hostages from North Korea. No money exchange, okay? Now, Pastor Brunson was put on trial, and he was found guilty in Turkey just to save face. But the judge said time served. He was sentenced to time served. So whatever time served he had, that was his sentence. And he was sentenced to time served. Hold on just a second, just to make sure not having any kind of... Okay, so he was sentenced to time served. Sorry about that. Just making sure. There you go. Sentenced to time served, and he's home. All right, Pastor Brunson is home in the Oval Office. Okay, there is number 6. Let's bring up number 6. Pastor Brunson thanking President Trump for his return from Turkey, and I wanted it to be top story. Now, today is early voting, okay? And there's something else I want to remind you of before we go into the show here. Early voting, what's important here? You know what? Khashoggi, right? Is that his name? Because there's 9 different pronunciations for Khashoggi, or whatever the journalist from the Washington Post that went in, didn't come out. We'll talk about that in a minute, okay? But today is early voting, and you have number 37. So if you are legally able, all right? If you are legally able to vote, got it? By the laws, if you are here and you are legally able to vote, today is your voting day. If you are part of the illegal blue wave that Stacey Abrams says will help her, you cannot vote. You got it? Allegedly 53,000, okay? Allegedly 53,000 voter registrations are held up at the Secretary of State's office in Georgia. Allegedly. Lawsuits have already been filed. Voter suppression on a daily basis is what it's called. But in a video, we know it, you know it, and I know it, that they want anybody and everybody to vote. They are registering anybody. They are walking up to people with the clipboards, these canvassers. The New Georgia Project, I think the name is, okay? They're walking up to anybody, it doesn't matter, and they're signing them up, and they're stacking those voters' registrations up, and they want them to vote. And Stacey Abrams thinks they should be able to vote. I want to tell you 3 things that I don't know if people understand, but these are very simple. I could do this show in about 7 minutes and then give you the information to go out and really tell people. Now, billionaires, they talk about Donald Trump being a billionaire, okay? Go to 34. Now, there's 3 takeaways today before you start your early voting that you need to talk to independents about. And they're very simple. I have told you over and over, or asked you over and over, do not try to have this conversation unless you just want to have an angry debate with somebody, which I've got better things to do. But do not have this conversation with the Democrats. There's no use, okay? Absolutely no use to have this conversation because it calls for logical thought. Serious, I don't care. It calls for logical thought. Don't have this conversation with Democrats. You need to get on the phone. Today started early voting and get every single Republican you know or somebody that identifies as independent. And you need to say, hey, this is my opinion. This is what I would do, okay? Let's just look at it like this. Let's put Kavanaugh aside, all right? And the manipulation of the women's vote that they're trying to do. Let's put Kavanaugh aside, okay? Let's put the manipulation of kids in cages. We'll talk about that. Let's put all the media manipulation, because they're in on it, okay? They're in on all of this. And let's focus on 3 simple things, okay? First of all, the country on a whole, forget Donald Trump for a minute. They don't want to see this country with the economy the way it's going today. They do not want to see Donald Trump impeached. They don't, because they know it's going to call for a disturbing amount, okay, of TV coverage. It's just going to be a nightmare in this country if Donald Trump's impeached and what the Democrats do. Tom Steyer, number 34 right here. He wants to impeach the President of the United States. I'll tell you where I want to go here, Josh, because I'm going to do this very quickly. 34, 35, 36, number 2, and back to 37. It's like bingo, okay? So right here is Tom Steyer. He's a billionaire out of California. He wants to impeach the President of the United States. Definitely. He is pouring millions of dollars into politics, Democrats, to impeach the President of the United States. That's number 1. Billionaire. Number 35. This is Michael Bloomberg, okay? Now a Democrat. When was he never a Democrat? Number 35, Michael Bloomberg. Billionaire, okay? You keep talking about Trump. Billionaire, okay? Wants your guns. This man wants to confiscate guns everywhere in the United States. His lead thing is to confiscate guns. So Tom Steyer wants to impeach the President of the United States. Overthrow him. Alec Baldwin, we'll talk about that later. He wants to overthrow the President of the United States. Steyer does. This guy wants to take all of your guns. Billionaire. And this guy here, number 36, he wants to completely collapse our financial system as we know it. George Soros wants a complete collapse in the financial system. Period. 34, Tom Steyer, overthrow the government, impeach the President of the United States. 30, billionaire. 35, billionaire. Michael Bloomberg wants to take every gun you have. Don't believe a single word. He wants the guns. That's his job. You got Steyer, the billionaire, overthrow the government, impeach Trump. His position as a billionaire, okay? His position as a billionaire, right there, Michael Bloomberg, take all of your guns. Don't let anybody fool you. All right? Billionaire. Number 3, number 36, collapse the financial markets of this country. Collapse our financial system as you know it. Right there, George Soros, billionaire. But you know what all 3 have in common? Not just being a billionaire, they've all poured money in old number 2. Stacey Abrams. All of them have poured money into Stacey Abrams. The media is carrying the water. There's Meet the Press this weekend. Washington, D.C. Stacey Abrams, Meet the Press. And there she is. And they all 3 have poured money into her. Okay? Do you have that 25-second video, Josh, of Stacey Abrams? Let's roll the tape. Yes.
But the thing of it is, the blue wave is African American. Yeah. It's white, it's Latino, it's Asian Pacific Islander. Yes. It is disabled. Yes. It is differently abled. Yes. It is LGBTQ. Yes. It is law enforcement. Yes. It is veterans. Yes. It is made up of those who've been told that they are not worthy of being here. Yes. It is comprised of those who are documented and undocumented. Yes.
It's comprised of those that are undocumented. Back to number 2. It's comprised, the blue wave, of those undocumented. They will do anything. So you think if she stands up in a room and says it's comprised of those undocumented, that maybe 53,000 of the alleged voter registration forms at the Secretary of State's office in Atlanta, wonder how many are illegals that she wants to vote. Folks, let's one more time, okay? 34. Billionaire Tom Steyer, overthrow the government, impeach Trump. 35. Michael Bloomberg, take your guns, billionaire, take all your weapons so you can't defend yourself. Number 36. Number 36, George Soros, billionaire, wants to destroy and collapse our financial system as we know it and you know it. Number 2, Stacey Abrams. Her campaign has gotten money from all 3 of these billionaires. And MSNBC, major multi-million-dollar media, carrying Chuck Todd, carrying her water Sunday, talking about voter suppression, okay? But, hey, Stacey knows that the blue wave, if she can do it, every illegal in Georgia will get a vote. And guess what? I would hope you think about number 37. I would hope you think about that before you go early vote today. Please, Stacey Abrams is a socialist. Stacey Abrams is in favor of overthrowing your government by taking out President Donald Trump. We've heard that from Alec Baldwin this week, okay? She's in favor of overthrowing your government by taking out President Donald Trump through Tom Steyer's impeachment. She's in favor, when she takes the money, she's in favor of Michael Bloomberg coming in and facilitating his part of it by taking all of your guns, whether she says it or not. She is also believes that George Soros and our financial system, she's prepared to let him collapse it as we know it. Trust me. If you vote for Stacey Abrams, it's a vote for Tom Steyer, George Soros, Michael Bloomberg, and it's allowing illegals to vote in your state of Georgia. Think about that before you go early vote. I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back after this, and we've got a lot going on this morning we've got to handle.